Dark colors can actually make a small home feel surprisingly luxurious and sophisticated, even if the space itself isn't very large. Many people believe dark walls will automatically make a room feel smaller and more cramped, but in reality that idea isn't always true. In fact, many professional interior designers intentionally use darker tones to create a sense of visual depth inside a space. That added depth makes a room feel more layered, more interesting, and far more visually engaging. When the walls are darker, the edges of the room visually soften and become less sharply defined. Because those edges fade slightly, the space no longer feels rigid or boxed in. Instead of feeling small or tight, the room begins to feel more immersive and enveloping. Colors like charcoal gray, navy blue, and deep forest green work especially beautifully in small interiors. These rich shades instantly add a sense of elegance and refinement to a space. Dark colors also help create a dramatic and atmospheric mood inside the room. And that subtle sense of drama is often what makes an interior feel expensive and high-end. Another secret behind beautiful dark interiors is the use of contrast. Light-colored furniture tends to pop beautifully against darker walls. For example, a beige sofa suddenly looks much richer when placed against a deep navy background. Even very simple furniture pieces can start to look more premium and stylish. Dark walls work almost like a backdrop that frames all of your decor. It's similar to how a gallery wall highlights and frames artwork. Artwork becomes much more noticeable and striking against darker paint colors. Mirrors also stand out more and instantly feel more elegant. Even houseplants begin to look fresher, brighter, and more vibrant. Lighting becomes especially important when working with darker interiors. Warm lighting helps create a soft and cozy glow throughout the room. Instead of flat, bright lighting, the space begins to feel layered and atmospheric. Table lamps and wall lights also create beautiful shadows around the room. This type of lighting effect is commonly used in luxury hotels. High-end interiors almost never rely on only a single ceiling light. Instead, multiple light sources create mood, depth, and dimension. Dark walls help enhance this layered lighting effect even more. Another key element that shines in darker rooms is texture. Texture tends to become more noticeable and expressive in darker spaces. Materials like velvet, natural wood, and linen stand out beautifully. Even very simple fabrics can suddenly feel more luxurious. Wood furniture often appears warmer and richer against dark backgrounds. Stone, brass, and metal accents also feel more dramatic and refined. Dark colors naturally highlight these material details. Designers also use darker tones to create visual cohesion. Cohesion helps a room feel intentional and well-designed. When colors flow together smoothly, the entire space feels calmer. Too many bright colors can sometimes feel visually chaotic. Dark palettes help simplify the overall visual experience. Another popular design trick is something called color drenching. This technique means using the same color across the walls and trim. Sometimes designers even paint the ceiling in the same shade. Surprisingly, this technique can actually make rooms feel larger. The eye stops focusing on hard edges and sharp corners. Instead, the space begins to feel more seamless and continuous. And seamless spaces often feel more luxurious and refined. Of course, balance is still extremely important. Dark walls tend to work best when paired with lighter furniture. Light sofas, chairs, or rugs help brighten the overall look. This balance prevents the space from feeling too heavy or overwhelming. Mirrors can also be a fantastic addition to darker rooms. They reflect light around the space and brighten the atmosphere. This reflection helps small rooms feel more open and spacious. Natural materials also help soften darker interiors. Wood, plants, and woven textures add warmth and life. These elements keep the space from feeling too cold or formal. Another benefit is that dark colors can hide imperfections. Uneven walls or minor flaws become far less noticeable. Small imperfections naturally fade into the background. This makes the room feel more polished and finished. Dark interiors can also create a strong sense of intimacy. The atmosphere becomes calm, relaxing, and inviting. This is why darker palettes work beautifully in living rooms and bedrooms. Many boutique hotels intentionally use darker color palettes. Their goal is to create a cozy and memorable atmosphere. And even small homes can achieve this same effect. You don't actually need to paint every wall in a dark color. Sometimes just one accent wall is more than enough. A navy wall behind a sofa can look incredibly stunning. A deep green dining wall instantly feels elegant. Charcoal gray also works beautifully in bedrooms. Another option is starting with dark furniture instead of walls. Cabinets, shelves, or storage units in darker tones work very well. Decorative items can also introduce darker colors gradually. This approach lets you experiment without committing too quickly. Lighting should always support darker wall colors. Warm light bulbs usually create the most comfortable atmosphere. It's best to avoid harsh, overly white lighting. Layered lighting will completely transform the room. Dark colors are really not something to be afraid of. In fact, they are a powerful interior design tool. Even a small home can look incredibly high-end. The real secret is balance and thoughtful intention. Combine dark tones carefully with lighter elements. Add texture and warm, layered lighting. Let contrast naturally highlight your decor. And suddenly, your small home begins to feel rich, stylish, and sophisticated.